All right. Yeah, like I was saying that in the morning video, I kind of tried to share the path, how it can go back to make a new low here at 48.16, 48.13, whatever the lowest 48 number it can get to. And, you know, since this week there is not much, an impactful data coming out or a big event or something like that, my opinion is that, it can spend a little bit of time in this particular beer path or beer channel and get to a little higher number here at 5185, 5195, something like that before we can really see a drop, right? So that was my still my kind of primary path for this particular the correction that we are in, which we have talked about as an ABC, like that this was first A, B, and a third leg C, which will come in later, right? So that still stays as my primary path. And if I just look at this from SPX point of view, like the SPX chart, we know US 500 trades like 23 hours in a day, right? So the charts are a little different. I mean, this is pretty clearly three waves here, right? I cannot even count it as in any way as a five unless I start looking at that okay, this one was like a five wave structure, which I know some people are, but I do not start anything with a leading diagonal as in as an assumption, and then I say okay, we'll make a small two wave drop and then we'll start going up, and that's not a primary assumption I can work with. I would always think of this one as a a corrective move, and this was an A move, B, C. So we had an A, B, C. We have a drop for A, pop, and then C again, right? Now we are just doing this continuously. This may become like a complex correction or something like that, where we have this as a W, this was an X, and this is Y, all three wave moves. That's fine. We can live with that. And, at the end, it just goes up here in this 5200 area. And if you see, if I remove this color, we have this big gap here, right? So we go up into 0.78% or 78% retracement, close this gap, and then we can head down, right? So that's a primary thought that I have. And I was just looking at the daily charts where the whole big time frame supply is, and this is where we mark our previous supply zone, which is a big candle before, right before when the sell off really started, right? So this whole area is a supply zone. And if you see on Friday, we just tested the lower band of it, right? So we probably should see some rejection here, getting into this. It should reject back, probably close this gap which was created on Friday during NFP. And then if there is, like I said, nothing big happening this week, probably it will float back up, right? So that's where my mind was when I was just recording the morning video or writing the Substack, right? Alternatively, I mean, again, that becomes like a super bullish idea. Again, there is no such event for that bullishness to occur. That what's going on is that if I let me just delete everything. Now SPX doesn't even support this path, but if let's say I start looking this as a leading diagonal, because there were five waves, right? And you would remember that this sell-off which happened, this was when Israel attacked Iran, right? And this whole area does not even exist in SPX because it happened overnight. And in the morning, we just opened pretty flat here at about 50.20 or 50.05 or something like that. Right, so this still has these five waves, and if I start looking at just from US 500, and probably it'll show up in the ES as well, that perspective, okay, maybe I can say this was wave one as five waves leading diagonal, wave two drop, and now we are heading up in wave three, right? Again, the action on Friday suggested that the momentum is again being lost here when it came to the supply zone, which I shared before. So regardless, we will see a drop. We'll see a drop in the in tomorrow's session, or maybe by Tuesday morning. But we should drop back, and we should drop back to again to this area, right, where the demand is. This demand or the below demand, and like I said, even in the SPX chart, I expect this 50, 60, 50, 50 area to hold primarily in this week. I don't know a reason why it would just sell off and cross this, 60% or 61% retracement, right? So we have taken some shorts. Probably, I think it'll be best that we get out at 50, 60, and based on how it is holding, we go long back again and ride it up to 5200. What happens after 5200, we'll just see about it. If this becomes like a wave 3 and we keep going up, which again, I'm pretty sure that, knowing how, big players play, they're going to just park it in a area where, before CPI, we will not have a clue whether it's going up, or they're going to just sell it off on the CPI, right? And CPI, I think, is Wednesday next week, or Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So these two legs is what I think will happen before CPI. Will it be a pre-CPI run? I think there is PPI also coming up. Let me just pull up the data. PPI is Tuesday, and I think CPI is Wednesday. Let's just pull the economic calendar here. That's Friday. So PPI is Tuesday, and CPI is Wednesday next week, right? So like I said, these two legs should get completed before that, and we probably will be parked somewhere in this area where it is above 5040, or 5140, and there'll be a confusion whether it's going to blow up as a long, or they're just going to sell it below this. So we'll see what happens, but this is my primary assumption as of now, that this is what should happen in the next 6-7 sessions basically. Any questions? No questions? Okay. All right. QQQ, very similar thinking here too. Just, we have a big overhead supply here. We almost came close to it, a couple of points, or maybe another, 1 or 2 points up, and then probably we should reject and come back to 426 zone. Move up, like I said, make this very tight consolidation in a triangle of a bigger time frame, and again, what will happen a week after with the CPI, we'll just see. But again, I think this will, if the sell comes Monday, Tuesday, I think 426 would be the area to go long again, and it's pretty good range up there, like 13, 14 points long if we want to capture, right? But we do want to see a sell off and coming back to the demand zone of Friday to close all any open gaps that we had from NFP. This was regular trading hours, so yeah, this is the gap that I'm talking about. So we sell down, close this gap, and then go back up, test this resistance from the highs, and come back down again. So that's QQQ. DIA, very similar. It's not even yet touched 61%, so can go up there. And again, now will it do the similar thing where it kind of sells a little, close this gap? They move like a little differently than SPX, QQQ, for of course a very different sector, and then push up to get close to the 61%, or a little higher at 391, and then the sell starts. So not much expected from DI in terms of a dip and a rip. I think it's best to kind of wait if somebody wants to trade this. 390, 391 is the area to short with a stop loss of 393, right? That's DIA. And IWM, we took some shots. I mean, this did not even try to go up after testing the 61% retracement up at the morning open on Friday. I did not even try to go back. Will it make another high above that? I highly kind of doubt it. Um, so, and we didn't add a lot. We kind of added a very small position. We'll see if it goes up. Probably will give us an opportunity to add more. But otherwise, this may start forming, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure here. So if it comes down, like this would probably be wave one. And while we expect SPX and others to go up to 5200, this might be just doing a wave two and then a wave three sell off, wave four, wave five, something like that. So this is something that we should keep a watch for. That if a sell occurs along with other indexes, for tomorrow and Tuesday, we want to see these five waves formed. Probably close out the shorts if we don't get to add any more. Probably close it out at 198 when it goes back to 201, 202 to make a new lower high. Then we load back up again, head back in this supply zone, which is getting created if the sell happens tomorrow, and kind of float it again, and then probably it'll sell back again. If you don't want to hold, if you want to hold, that's totally up to you. And the average or add more here. We've got 30 days of time, so enough time to work with them. So these are like some all the four indexes primarily kind of aligned to each other from how the moves can happen in the next 5 6 days, leading up to CPI, and probably we'll see a change after CPI or a big move after CPI. So that's kind of right now what I'm thinking. Any questions? Okay. Next is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is interesting, right? And that's the only reason I'm entertaining any a bullish idea where I'm saying that if let's say we are parked for SPX, above 5160 or with 5170 before CPI. I mean, the only reason I'm thinking that the risk is on is because this particular move that came out of last week from the 5600 56,000, this is looking pretty bullish to me. I mean, you can clearly count this as five waves in the work. And right now, it's doing a fifth wave per se here, which will be done by tomorrow morning or maybe a little later, and we'll see a drop. But if this is the wave one for the five waves that we are looking at, then Bitcoin is starting actually a bullish sequence here, right? I was expecting that initially that we will have a ending diagonal here where we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this is now getting close to invalidating that idea, because if this goes up here, which is where it will close the wave 5 somewhere around 66 67, then the wave 4 idea is totally out of the picture, and we are looking this as wave 1 of the next wave, right? We will see a dip, should come back to this area again around 59 60K before it's really rallying in wave 3. But this is bullish, right? So we need to keep this in mind and be open to any scenarios as we head into a week after for CPI. So something to keep an eye on, right? If Bitcoin is bullish, though Bitcoin always kind of leads the bullish or the bearish side of the rallies or declines. They it starts declining much before we will see a decline in SPX. But just something to keep a eye on that. Don't go uber bearish saying that hey, 4800 is coming for sure, while we see there is a risk on going on crypto, right? So something to keep your mind open and trade with caution. Like I said, just going back to this SPX chart again, and I said that in the Substack and the video as well, that as long as 50-50 is holding, we will not get to 48-16. I mean, it's very important that that this demand is broken, and then only we can expect, okay, yeah, the new lows are coming, right? If this keeps bouncing here, even after CPI, we are just doing probably something like this. Yeah, this case will become weaker and weaker and weaker. Though B waves are like very um, you know uh, tricky all the time to say where they ended, where they did not. But I'll just say that don't just go with a, like 100% conviction there that, okay, let's go all in because 4800 is coming. That's not, would be realistic, looking at if, Bitcoins does that wave one and two, and we are kind of just hovering around 50-50 and all that kind of stuff. I'm looking that as that, looking at it as, in a way that uh, if this drop comes, we'll capture a portion of it. And the 4800 is where we are looking to load, because we know it's a very corrective wave. We know, how it's trading, and 4800 comes, we'll have a lot of opportunities, many stocks to go long, along with the index. But I'm not really trying to be all in into any of the bearish momentums and all that kind of stuff, right? So be cautious till we are in this correction, but we will be super long when 4800, if and when 4800 comes, and we'll try to capture each of these legs to, like we always do, with the proper risk management, smaller sizing, and just go with what market is giving us right now, and then load up good stocks, good far dated options on longs when it comes to a bigger demand zone, right? So that's a kind of strategy we need to go with. Another 3 to 4 weeks if we have to get here. I think we should get here by end of May, right? And yeah, so that's kind of my thinking, looking at different charts here and different things. Just hold on a second. Let me close the door. The dog is barking too much. All right, sorry about that. Cool. So that's Bitcoin, and I posted this MSTR chart. I mean, this probably will not help. Uh, tomorrow morning, because I think there will be already a big rally. I haven't checked on Robinhood how high it is trading, but this was a good move that came later Friday after hours. Um, which wasn't certainly there when we were looking at during Friday session, but a good move in the after hours, right? And I think coin would be looking good as well. So it's holding the drop which happened on its earnings, and it kind of held that initial drop at 215. 193 was our target when we started talking from 284. I don't know how many of you had been able to actually grab the shares or grab options. Options were expensive before earnings, but 193 was the expectation, and it kind of touched to the dot here, and moved up for like $40 just right before the earnings. So I think if Bitcoin is going that path, we probably are gonna go up in coin. So first, I think tomorrow we should, tomorrow or next day, as Bitcoin is completing the fifth wave, coin should head up and test somewhere about 250. Let me just check how it is doing in the app right now. It's like $5 above at 228 right now on Robinhood. 228, yeah. So 228. So I expect that we will see somewhere in this range about 246, and then a dip should come again. Next time it comes, this is where you need to load. Around 213 to 220, somewhere around that number. If you have missed it already here at 193, you will get an opportunity to pick it back up again before it starts breaking for the new highs. Um, Next, I think I covered Mara. We've talked about it when it was here. I know that the dip was coming. Now, what I want to all see is that it goes towards 24. Will it be able to break 24 and head higher? I mean, that I don't know yet. I shared this chart that this is possible that we are doing kind of a 1-2-1-2 nesting here. But these always are very tricky nests. The 1-2-1-2 nest, whether it will go that high or not, I can't say yet. But for now, at least for short term trading, I think 24 is very realistic from 18 here, and we'll see how it progresses along with other things, right? So 24 is the realistic target. Breaks that, probably looking at here going to 30, 31, and 33, right? Which we kind of tested before. So that's Mara, and Riot as well. Testing so it tested around 30 in this area, and the next one potentially again head up to 17, 18, somewhere in this area, right? So that's the expectation from these two, and the charts are looking really good. We just need to see how the pattern is forming as it's heading higher, right? Once it's here, whether this was just a bull flag on a weekly or something else. If this turns out to be a weekly bull flag, then yeah, we are looking at this testing 44 as well. It's same as Mara, like I said. Go level by level, good pattern formation, and as it breaks out from the previous zones, ability to kind of test the next zones, probability becomes much higher, right? So overall, I mean, if you look at Mara, I think we were discussing on a monthly charts that the structure is pretty good, that after this completion of these 5 waves, right, there was a first break of the structure here, where we made a higher high back in 2020, breaking this previous lower high. We made a higher high here, and we made a higher low at 60%, and now we are kind of trying to either go up in a B wave, and kind of dump, right, or this is a start of a new trend where higher high, higher low, and now the formation for the next one is coming to kind of get into a much higher number. Will it happen? It's a big leap, right, from 210 to 230. It's not happening tomorrow. May take a lot of months and weeks to get there. But again, structurally, I mean, there is nothing wrong with this count. If there were 5 waves down, we are just looking at this as an A and a B and a C, right? So again, this is a very big number to say. Oh, are we moving from $10 to like 230? I should go all in, right? Like I said, I mean, this could just be a retracement for this drop that happened, and let's see how much the retracement was here. We didn't exactly test 23%, but there's a high chance that we go up to like 78% here. Sorry, 78% here. And then if Bitcoin completes one of the counts that we are looking at as 5 waves up, then we are looking at this coming down, right? But at least there is an option to go into higher, higher from here, which is like still 3x, 4x, as the flag breaks out, right? So what happens after 40, 44, we'll see in a larger picture with the how the situation is with Bitcoin and what kind of path we are looking at. But at least this is doable for now, right? And yeah, basically that's right. Basically covers the crypto. TLT, we are holding the longs on this one. Looks all right for now. There was a good move from that 61% retracement of this whole overall leg, and the breakout really happens when we break above this line. But again, getting into 90, 91, 92, I think that kind of makes it a good case that okay, this time we're going to test this trend line, kind of break up, right? And we are holding 99s for July. Good bullish diversions on a daily here on the RSI. Quite an upside available to go up. So I am looking at next week and a CPI week that we should trade above somewhere around 93, 94 with TLT. Right, that's the kind of number that I'm looking at. Um, Covering the dollar, right? So we talked about dollar getting into this supply zone last week, and it made another test into that before selling off quite a bit into 104, higher 104s. Didn't completely test where I thought it will test, left like few points there and started moving up. So it's potentially it will come back again, come back into to test this demand here, right? This particular demand, and then move higher up. I mean, this is something which is kind of aligned to what we have for the indexes. Though I always say, I mean, the impact is not like directly proportional, that each tick is inversely proportional to a move in the SPX. But again, I mean, we'll support the theory that okay, if this is going higher, then tech is taking a little bit of a pressure there. That sort of thing. So yeah, that's about dollars, crypto indexes. I'll just take a pause and ask if there are any questions. Okay, all right, no questions. I think rest of the things are pretty self-explanatory, but I do want to cover a couple of Max 7 charts and few chart requests that came in. This looks pretty nice for us to play around. We were long before. We took a long here at around 171, and then it kind of dipped. And with the earnings, we were able to kind of come out of those calls that we were holding. But I think we could play around with this as it completes this move. Basically, if you want to go do longs, you can do longs here on a dip for a wave 4 as well. So potentially, if you see, if this is your wave 3, you are looking at somewhere around 38% retracement for that, right? So around 179 area, which is again a very good support here, about 179. If you see it at 179, you can let's see, 179. You can take a long for for this wave, basically for a fifth wave, getting into this area about 190. So 179 to 190, about 10 points. I think it'll be a good long to capture, right? So that trade is possible. Once it gets to 190, puts are possible there for it to come back down into 179 and below that in this area around 174, 175, right? So quite a few trades possible in Apple if you're interested. And yeah, the other stock that I liked about trading, one was Netflix that we were trading anyway, but we traded this back in this area when this leg was forming, but then there was another dip. I know some of you bought the shares at around 540, 548, somewhere around this. But this looks really good if you want to scalp a trade. I think the next level is 602 from here, so any dip needs to be bought. But the another good stock that I like for dip buying is MDB, right? So we had this big breakout. If you were not able to capture it from 324 area, when I started alerting that this is looking really really nice into 384, then it's giving us the wave 2 dip back here, right? So wave 2 dip back around 347. I think a good buy to go long again, and the next rally is going to be really nice on this. So Is there a question? Okay. Um, yeah, so I really like few of these trades for anybody who wants to pick the stocks instead of indexes. And AB, I know, is AB there? Oh, he was there. He dropped. Okay. So there are a couple of stocks that he asked for. One was Hood. It has got an earnings, so I wouldn't be playing that. But then the other stock was Baba. I alerted this in I think in one of the channels that Baba is looking really good. I mean, it kind of chopped for a very long time in this area, and every time anybody asks, I said we will not talk about this until it's above 79, right? Because it's not even looking interesting to trade this. But now above 79 from Friday and breaking this downtrend line, right? You can go long with the either with the stocks or long dated options. Will there be a pullback to do it? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know yet, but we'll see about it on Monday. But I think this is a very good move here coming in many of the Chinese stocks, not just Baba. But I talked about Neo making a monthly doji coming from the demand, and it has gone like 50-60 cents up from lower fives to or 4.8 to I think 5.6 or something like that. And here Baba is looking really, really nice. And if the rally continues and the way it rallies, I think we are looking at 97 and 102 as the next area to target, right? So pretty good chart here with Baba. And there was another chart that I liked. Let me just go see which one was that. Hood, Baba, and oh yeah, Shopify. Right, so another very good compression here in this retracement move, right? And we see a very nice divergence forming here, right up from the, bouncing from the support levels, right? And I expect a breakout to happen. So shop maybe another one to go calls, and target this gap close above about 89 or something like that, right? So very nice trade available here in this one too. And is it gonna really, you know, go that high? We don't know yet. We'll see. We'll track one by one as it progresses. But the first target is let's just go and close this gap that we have, right? And make a test of those highs. We start growing up. From there, yeah, we are in a wave three, right? We'll get to know. But I think Shop and Baba are good to go long, as good as tomorrow. And MDB, like I said, a little bit more retracement and will be a good long to play in the next week. Netflix is another strong mover. If we get a dip on it, another entry. And Apple, like I said, would be a good play. So quite a nice stock plays lining up. If you don't want to trade in indexes, up to you. But these are the few good setups, and I'll post some of these in the A plus setups as well for you guys to remember, and can take entries as you like it. That was pretty much it, which I wanted to cover. What I wanted to cover. And any questions? All right, cool. Enjoy the evening. I'll see you tomorrow morning then. Thank you.